Welcome to Brand Snack, where we take a 10-minute break, munch on our favorite snack, while we have bite-sized discussions with brands people crave and love. In today's Brand Snack, we'll be having a tasty conversation with Frank Toral, founder of Neighborhood Kids, the leading faith-based early education school network in Florida, operating Christian preschools inside of churches. Frank, before we jump into your brand, which I know is going to be a great story, tell me what your favorite snack is.
Wow, that's an easy one, Emmanuel. Peanut M&Ms.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're about your versatile, dual experience.
Chocolate and peanuts.
Or chocolatey peanuts, depending on how you want to look at it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So what did you like about this snack? I want you to tell me the elements, because when you're thinking about a brand, all those quirky elements that draw you in and get you to crave more, that's really what Brand Snack is about. We want to unpack that. So what aspects of this snack, the M&M's peanuts, did you like the most?
I don't know. I may be the only M&M's consumer that did with these peanuts what I used to do as a little kid. I would literally unpack them. I would take the peanuts, I would put them in a bowl, and I would eat the chocolate off of the peanuts, and I'd put the peanuts in a separate bowl, and then I'd eat the peanuts right after so it would last a lot longer.
Wow. So you were into, again, that dual experience, that combo punch.
Yes.
That's really what drew you in.
Yes.
And the long-lasting effects.
Yes. I do that now. My wife's like, what are you doing?
Wow. Okay, so this is still your favorite snack.
I have graduated to cookies and cream ice cream.
Okay. That'll be for another show. So what I'd like to do now is transition over to your brand, knowing that all of these elements that make your favorite snack, that analogy can easily translate into some of the world's most admired brands. And with Neighborhood Kids in particular, I want to put it up on screen. Let's go ahead and take a look at Neighborhood Kids and the logo. All right, so here we go. Beautiful logo. At first, I told you about this being a little parakeet, maybe, but it's not. Tell us a little bit about the brand itself.
It's interesting because all the kids at our schools, we have hundreds of kids that attend our Neighborhood Kids across Florida, across Palm Beach County, and they debate. Is that a parrot? Is that an eagle? Is it a parakeet? What is it?
Right.
And it's actually a pudgy eagle. It's a pudgy baby eagle.
Cute.
Yes.
It's cute. Now,
Notice he's been eating a little bit extra snacks.
Maybe too many M&Ms?
Yes.
So, let's talk a little bit about the design of it, which I could see the pudgy. There's a lot of curves involved. And you have this little thing on the head. What is that?
It's a little bit of hair, like baby hair, like his hair's just starting to come in. So he's got a nice little do going on there.
And what about the color scheme? So you have like this light blue, and then you have the red. What does the red mean?
I think the red signifies a child's potential. It's a power color. It signifies that God has created them with a purpose and a plan, and they have great potential to realize their God-given destiny, and that color red conveys that potential.
And the gold beak also, huh?
Yes. The beak was intended to convey exceptionalism. It was intended to convey that we want to sharpen the education of our kids. We want to prepare them not just for elementary school, we want to prepare them for life. And you can only do that by sharpening their skills, sharpening their values, and really honing in on what the most important things for them to be successful in life will be.
Love that. And, underneath your logo, you guys are also using a slogan. Not all companies will use a slogan. Some will do it as a way to quickly communicate the value prop. I'd love for you to share the slogan and the story behind it.
Yeah, the slogan is soaring high on wings like eagles. And it's actually derived from a Bible verse. It's Isaiah 40:31.
Okay.
But those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. And so it talks about, again, a child's potential. They have wings to soar. And if they'll just trust in God for his plan for their life, anything is possible. So that's the tagline.
You know what I like about that is they shall mount up. it talks about development, right? It talks about going upward.
Yes.
And that's really great. So how are you using this brand story in your messaging and your sales pitches as you're introducing, this opportunity with potential partners?
Yeah. You have to look more than just at first glance, because when you look at the bird, you ask yourself, what is that?
Yeah.
And then the Neighborhood Kids doesn't say anything about being a faith-based brand. So it invites you to explore the journey.
Okay.
And it's the same journey that your kids would be on us. So you'd have to take a look at, well, what is Neighborhood Kids? And is it faith-based? And what is that eagle? And what does that mean? And it's really just a nuanced way of inviting parents and churches in to discover who we are and how we fit with just with their plans for their kids and their plans for their ministries.
Got it. So beautiful logo. I think it was very well designed. Tell me a little bit about, how that came about. Was it something that you drew out on your own? Did you get help with an agency? Was it someone that recommended it to you as a suggestion?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we had a designer by the name of Alyssa, and she was the chief designer of a very large church in South Florida that my family was a part of. And when she left that to start her own creative agency, I asked her, I said, hey, we're starting a preschool. Can you, there was no logo, there was no branding. They didn't even have a website when we acquired them. And she said, Frank, what's your vision? And I shared with her that I don't want to be so in your face with the religion or faith. I want it to be welcoming. I want it to be warm. I want it for kids to ask questions, to pique their curiosity. And so she's like, what about this? Give me a few weeks and I'm going to give you a logo and you tell me what you think. And when she gave it to me, it was like God speaking to me like, this is my word that I want to give to my kids. I want them to soar high on wings like eagles. And so it fit perfectly.
Yeah. The more we look at it, I see almost like a patch.
Mm-hmm.
Like something that of honor, which just, signifies integrity. It could signify a lot of things that you could build onto your brand story. Have you ever looked at it that way?
It's interesting that you see that, because one of our main values is honor. Every child has a uniform, and on that uniform is the eagle. Every director has a name tag, every educator has a name tag, and on that is the eagle. It's branded everywhere.
And that's great. I want to talk a little bit about the differences between a logo and a brand. Some people at the early stages will confuse them. The logo itself is an extension of the brand, right? It's a visual identity of the brand, but the brand itself has all of these other elements attached to it: the brand story, the experience, the communication, right? The core values. It really does. It's the whole package. So with that said, what would be some of the iconic brand elements aside from the logo that are going to make this, this brand iconic? When they see it, just like when you see M&Ms, how does it make you feel?
I would say what is iconic about our brand, it's forward looking. It's not just about today. Every parent wants the best for their child. And so that means looking into the future and imagining the kind of persons they will become. And so by partnering with Neighborhood Kids, we help parents realize their dreams of developing children that love God and love their neighbor as themselves. And in this world that is increasingly complex with a diversity of opinions on everything, we want to be able to instill foundational family values in the kids so they grow up to be people that realize that they have a destiny and a responsibility in loving their neighbor in everything that they do.
And that they can fly high and achieve new things, right?
That there are no ceilings and no limits. They have truly unlimited potential.
Now, are you hearing, what's the feedback that you get when you're interacting with parents or, folks that are attending your school, even the kids? What do they say about your logo that they love the most?
They ask, is this a franchise? Because we replicate it as franchisees do, as franchisors do in every different location and churches that we have. So they ask, is it a franchise? And we tell them, no, it's corporately owned and we wanted to It's a family-owned business, so we wanted to be able to replicate that at every location, wherever we grow and wherever we go. But what they say is it prompts them to ask questions. What is that? And why is that? And why do you do that? And so it begins a conversation. And you and I know, Emmanuel, that before you can have a connection with anybody, you need to be able to have a conversation with them. So our brand, our logo invites conversation.
Love that. Love that. Now, where is your brand going? How long have you been in business now?
We've been in business about 4.5 years.
Okay.
We are going throughout the state of Florida. Our vision is to be able to partner with churches in 1,000 neighborhoods across the United States. Our 5-year plan in Florida is to establish 50 neighborhood kids schools in churches across the state.
Awesome. And this brand that you've created, initially though, it was a franchise. Is that right? Do you want to talk about that, by the way?
Sure.
Talk about the evolution of it, right?
Of course. So when we acquired the schools, it was a brand. I mean, they didn't have brand assets, but it was a brand. And it was a trusted brand. For 50 years in the Wellington community, these schools had a fierce loyalty from parents and generations of families. And so when we took it over, it was a complete makeover. We talk about a makeover in a house. This was a complete branding, marketing, messaging, content makeover. And so it gave us the opportunity to really build something that had the core elements, the families that served as the foundation, but it gave us the opportunity to dream, hey, what could this be in the future? And so our brand is still evolving, and we hope to be able to continue to think about how do we best communicate who we are and the value proposition that we serve to both churches, children, and communities. And we want to be a blessing to all three.
That's awesome. Well, and that really concludes the brand snack for today. I want to thank you so much, Frank Toral, for coming in and sharing, how you developed your brand and some of the creative elements that make it such a attractive, business model. Thanks again for coming in.
My honor. Thank you very much for having me.